Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Hospitality Today Live. I'm Deborah Gardner, your host. And wow, do we have a great show for you here today. You are not going to want to miss it. And just like all our guests that we have here on the show, it's all about sharing their topics, their perspectives, stories, opinions, and so much more. And today we have someone very special with a great purpose that really needs to come to the surface so everyone knows about all through the world when it comes to the hospitality profession. And I am talking about David Geiger. He is the board director for the Meeting Industry Fund. Now, David, who just recently retired, has been in the industry almost 5 decades with Hilton Worldwide. And let me tell you, within those 5 decades, there is a list of awards that he has won as well. And we're just so excited for him to be here to talk about the Meetings Industry Fund and what it's going to really mean moving forward, especially in our industry. He's going to explain what it is. He's going to tell us how it's going to help the meetings industry, especially the people during this crisis that we're in right now, who supports it, and how anyone can get a grant available to them starting today. So you're not going to want to miss out. Join us right here on Hospitality Today Live. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We have this episode sponsored by Versator. Let the site tour come to you, versator.com. Well, I am so excited for this episode. I cannot tell you what an honor and privilege it is to have David Geiger here with us, because he is a longtime veteran in the hospitality profession, and who better than to have on this show representing the Meeting Industry Fund. So thank you so much, David, for being here with us.
Thanks, Deborah. Great to see you again. I don't know if I'm worthy of all that great intro, but I appreciate it. And I'd like to add 2 thank yous from my end. One is thanks for the opportunity for us to get the message out there about the Meetings Industry Fund, and also thank you for what you do to bring so much great education and knowledge to our industry leaders and aspiring industry leaders. It does so much to really elevate the industry, which I retired from, but still have attachment to. So thanks for all that you do in your organization.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. It's a great way of giving back. And as you know, being in the industry for so long, giving back is our role in the industry. Even though retirement is on the shelf coming up for me, and you've been retired for about 4 years right now, it's in our soul, it's in our heart. We will never, ever leave it. We will always find some way to stay involved. So thank you as well for especially bringing to the surface and bringing to light the Meeting Industry Fund. And I want everyone to learn and know so much about this, because if they don't need it, someone in our industry does. And so many organizations within the industry helping support this, and which we're going to get into. It's only something that really is just beginning for everyone to know about. So before we get going here, I know with your background, what we're going through right now is not your first rodeo. We'd love to know your take on what's going on right now, what's happening, and what's your thoughts on the industry, what they're going through right now.
Well, obviously it's unprecedented, and I feel for so many friends that my wife and I still have in the industry and what they're going through. I think we hear it probably 5 times a week. You should be so glad you retired when you did. But yeah, it's tough. But you know what? I hate the cliche, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I don't know if I like those exact words, but it is a test. And the people that know what they're doing and work hard at what they're doing, they will get through this. And there's already good signs of things starting to improve. And, it's been a tough road, but we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And we'll get there.
Yeah, we will. We will. Again, it's not our first rodeo. It's just a different animal. It's a beast, and there will be more in the future. So we do know how to handle it, and it is only going to get better because it always has. So explain to us the Meetings Industry Fund. I really want people to know about this, and I love your motto, "We've got your back." So can you explain about this? Especially when it has to do with helping people in crisis?
Sure, Deborah. It's actually very simple. We have two missions. One is to get money, i.e. donations, mostly from our industry. And second, to give it away to people in crisis. None of us know when something might happen to us, be it a job loss, a medical emergency, any kind of a crisis. And so, we coined the phrase, "We've got your back." We like to think that we are there as a tremendous resource when you've run out of options and you don't know where to turn. So that's what we're all about, quite simply, is providing grants for people in the meetings industry in any way that have a crisis, usually financial, but that's what it's all about, is giving money for people that need it, that need help.
And is this just a US based fund, or is it worldwide? What's the spread there?
That's a good question. We are US based, and I don't think I've ever been asked that question before, actually. And I've been on the board for about 4 years, but we function in the United States, and that's been our biggest reach. But certainly, if we got a request from non-domestic, we'd certainly consider it, look at what's involved, and provide support if it was somebody attached to the meetings industry. So, we've never set boundaries to say that we'll only provide grants for people that are American. So, but good question. Thank you.
Well, I can't even imagine the reserves for this fund being just enormous. And like you said, it's twofold. It's about receiving the donations and making sure it gets out to the industry. And of all times, this definitely would help, no doubt. Can you give us some examples, stories, or real cases that you and your board have actually given out some funds?
Absolutely. What I like about it too is it runs the gamut. There's cases where we've given out thousands of dollars. And there was one not too long ago where someone very simply requested a few $100s because they couldn't pay their cell phone bill, so they can continue to search for a job after they lost one. And we had the grant request. We provided money to that person, issued a grant, and helped them pay their cell phone bill. But typically it's thousands of dollars. But I do have some examples. Probably the one that tugs at my heartstrings the most is a person that was that worked at a hotel in Pittsburgh. And this is before I joined the board. But his job was to set up meeting rooms. And he came home. He went home one night after the late shift. And sadly, tragically, his mobile home was on fire. He lost his home, his spouse, his child, his pet, and I think another family member. And that man couldn't even afford to pay funeral and burial expenses. So someone knew about it, encouraged him to apply for a grant on our website. Grant was issued, and the Meetings Industry Fund helped pay for the funeral and burial. Another example is a meetings professional in the DC area, happened to also tragically involve a fire, lost their home. And they had insurance, but before the insurance monies would kick in, this person needed money to buy food and clothing and such for daily living. and a grant was provided for that. We had a case of several cases of medical situations where the medical expenses were so heavy that the other expenses, they couldn't keep up with the other expenses, mortgages and such. So we helped with those expenses to help carry those people until they could get back on their feet financially. So there are a lot of different reasons. There are a lot of different stories, a lot of different tragedies. But the end result was we were able to help them thanks to donations made to the Meetings Industry Fund.
Well, you're like an angel. I mean, this is
my wife would disagree, but thanks, Deborah. I've never been called an angel in my life, but thank you.
All of you, the entire board, because this is a godsend to have available. And as you mentioned, insurance companies, you know how long it takes to get insurance companies to respond or to work its magic. But you all seem like you jump at the opportunity looking for people that are dealing with things that you just mentioned. I mean, it sounds like you just saved them. And there's just these meeting industry fund angels, rolling around here to help. And boy, those are really sad stories. And yet it's realistic.
Thank you, but we're not the angels. It's the people that donate to us. Everyone can help. We're just the conduit. And, our mission is to connect the dots. People that can give money and people that need money. So thank you for that compliment. Again, I don't think I've ever been called an angel in my life, as my family and friends would agree, but thank you.
Well, Mary will say, okay, well, you pretty much made his head too big to leave the room. Yeah. But okay, so let's talk about those angels. Who's supporting this, and what organizations have actually really donated some monies to help this process?
Another good question. And you know what, Deborah? It's not just organizations. It's the person. We may be given a complimentary a hole at an industry golf tournament. We'll put up our little Meetings Industry Fund sign and our banner and all those things. And it's the person that gives $10, $20 at a golf tournament. Those all add up. They really do. But yes, it's bigger organizations too. We have companies, and I won't name names, that have given us thousands of dollars. And we've had great support from our own industry organizations. And I think that speaks to the credibility of the MIF. And I will name names as an example. PCMA gave us a nice 4-figure donation not too long ago. They support us totally. IAEE, friend of mine is Dave Dubois, CEO of that organization. In fact, he's at our house recently, and I said, it may cost your organization, but they're ongoing. They donate 4 figures a year, and they're very supportive. They recognize what good it does. So IAEE, ASAE does in-kind for us with exhibit booths at their trade shows when they're held, and we hope that'll happen. It is going to happen soon. They give us booth space and registration so we can get the word out at their trade show. What we do and what is needed to support people in crisis. I hope I'm not going to leave out anybody big in the industry, but IMEX certainly is a huge supporter. Karina Bauer, and I shouldn't name names, but I just did, who's the CEO of that organization. She was on our board for a couple of years, and they've donated big money to the Meetings Industry Fund. So it's $10 here, $20 there, $1,000 here, $5,000 there, but it all adds up and it's all needed and it's all put to good use.
See, I think along with the industry, I didn't even know this is stunning me, because I did not realize that an individual can help donate, $5, $10, $20 all the way up to organizations worldwide, pertaining to this simple fund to help people in crisis. I think this is just brilliant, and of all times needed, right?
Yeah, we were concerned about that. And I will say, as a sidebar, when this god-awful pandemic began and we knew it was happening, we were worried about having an avalanche of requests, grant requests. And quite frankly, it's not been the case. And I think it's for several reasons. I think, people are too proud to ask, and they may or may not know about this resource. They may or may not know about the Meetings Industry Fund. They may or may not know that it's done confidentially. Some people are afraid to have it out there on the street that they have, what their finances are. So I think there's a lot of reasons. And I think a lot of people too, before coming to us, are on that tightrope of using government checks or using their 401ks or their partner or spouse's income and tightening the belt a bit. So it definitely.
Yeah, those are very good reasons. And I'm just hoping that now people that are hearing what you are saying will say, okay, let's be a little open here, whether it's to help or to receive a grant anytime, not just during a crisis, but as your story that you just shared, which is just a devastating story, hoping people will say, okay, and really ask that question of themselves, do I need help? And if I do, where do I go in the hospitality industry to receive it? And the answer is the Meetings Industry Fund.
Thank you.
That is the answer.
We have two big missions right now. There's always been that mission of raising funds or raising money to provide grants. But the other big mission too is to get the awareness out there, as you just said. And this is certainly going to help with your kind offering of this opportunity to promote the fund. But yeah, that's our second mission. We recently, USAE kindly did a story back about 2 months ago on that very matter. They helped us in that regard. So yeah, we need to spread the word. If you know people, a person or people in crisis that needs help, send them our way, because it's really easy. It's really easy to apply. Good.
And much quicker to receive than possibly insurance companies that are really busy as well with the whole world.
Yes.
Here, at least you can focus just on the industry. So that really says something powerful to our industry when you are caring for like family. We are family. We're all in this together. And if anybody knows who understands, it would be the Meetings Industry Fund. So how, David, can someone look into these grants? Where are they available? How do they apply for something like this? Because I know a lot of them are thinking, oh, I'm dreading the application. I'm dreading having to explain myself when I'm trying to feed my family through this, or like you mentioned, the fire. How do they go about this? Is it a pretty simple process?
Yeah, it's really simple. Another good question, because if it's difficult, people would be more reluctant to apply. But very simple. A person just can Google or go to the Meetings Industry, Meetings plural, industryfund.org. And there is a grants tab that includes an apply tab. And there's an application there, and it's very simple. As it is to donate, there's a donate tab. So a couple clicks and you're there. Yeah, it'll take a little bit of time to fill out the application, but it's not too long and too complicated. It wants to know some basic information, because obviously we want to be responsible for what we're doing with donor monies and the grants that we issue. So we want to keep that integrity together. And I have to emphasize again too, the application process and the grant request, the persons that apply, it's all kept in the strictest of confidence. Not even the grants review committee that we have sees the name of the person requesting. The board never sees the name of the person requesting assistance. So it's all kept anonymous. And I think that's important for everyone to know, because people have pride and they don't want, a lot of people don't want it to be known what their finance situation is.
So it is confidential. There is a
Yes.
process.
Yep.
That is very important to people, like you said, and so that's really good to hear. And we've got a fan of yours here, Lisa Raymond, who actually she's a great fan of HTL as well. She said, "This is such a terrific conversation. I love the tagline. We got your back." And literally, you really do through this process.
Yeah,
I love
well,
it.
we like to think so. It's very simple, and we hope that it rings true with, what we try to be and do, and where that donor money is going to help people, and we want to have their back, and
Yeah.
we've had a lot of backs, and we're proud and glad to see it happen. One more footnote, though, too, to what I said about the confidentiality is that, if we don't see the name, who does? When you apply on the link on our website, you apply for a grant, it goes directly to a person that's mostly pro bono, but we pay a few dollars to manage our finances. And he is a comptroller for an association, and he sees it, but he's signed confidentiality agreements, as has all of us on the board and people on our committees that help us on committees. So that's how
That's great.
tight we are on the confidentiality.
That's great. That's great to hear. For multiple reasons that you already mentioned as well. I went ahead and put up the contact information a little earlier here in the show, which usually I do at the end, but I want people to really see this and know, how to contact you for questions, first of all, and also the website. That way, people that are watching right now, write this down because and take a look, because no matter if you need a grant or if you want to help someone, there you go. Go to this website and either donate or apply yourself. So everyone in the industry should have some sort of connection to the Meetings Industry Fund. So this is great information, David. Thank you so much for sharing it. And I know with your experience being in the industry for such a long time and so loyal and dedicated to Hilton Worldwide, I'm sure you also have seen a lot of and heard a lot of industry employees leaving and some trying to come back. Can you share with us before we go, what was the nicest part about working in the industry, and so that people can hear, hey, you know what, we still need you back here. We need we need to open our doors much faster than we are. Anything you want to share for our hospitality professionals out there?
Well, the first part of your question, Deborah, it was easy. What I enjoyed the most, and it sounds cliche, but it's all the friendships that I made, my wife and I made over the years, and that never stops. I couldn't hang up my hat fast enough or strong enough. The fund is my way of, quite simply, quote, giving back, and that's what I enjoy about it. But part of it too is maintaining and keeping the friendships in the industry that we've acquired over so many years. I was the guy that had industry relations in my title with Hilton Worldwide. And I don't know whether I'm bragging or complaining, but I attended, 40 annual ASAE trade shows and 40 PCMA annual meetings and a lot of other industry things. And through that all that networking, it has developed some great friendships with great people. So that's been the joy of being in the business.
Right.
And,
Very true. It really is. It's all about relationships. It really is. And I hope next time, instead of inviting David over, you invite me over for dinner.
Hey, when you're in town, you don't want me to cook. I can't even make toast. Wife
neither.
Does a great job. And
we'll go to David's house.
And I just may ask for a donation to the Meetings Industry Fund too. Now that it's so simple, you too can donate $20 or whatever amount you care to donate on behalf of your organization. But We do need to
Absolutely.
help with donations and spreading the word to people that need help.
Right, right. Very true, very true. And I know, being such a longtime veteran that you are giving back, I'm sure there's always lessons to be learned along the way, good, bad, or ugly. Any lessons that you've learned recently that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, I don't know about recently. I'm now in the best job I ever had, called retirement, but again, still attached to the industry a little bit. But I would say be genuine, and it's maybe an overused word, but if you're sincere in what you do and what you want to do, and your reputation's the only thing you have. So you be sincere and genuine in what you're doing on the job day to day. And the other being network, because this business is not proverbial rocket science. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So, I've always encouraged people to get out there, network, make contacts, because they can help you grow. You can help them and they can help you. And that's what this business, it's a people business, and that's what it's all about.
I totally 2000% agree with you on that. And as much as our paths have crossed over the few decades you and I have been in this industry, it's always a pleasure to see you again. And even though different roles, and that's the beauty of the industry. Once you're in the industry, there's so much opportunity, and even right now today. So again, we really want to thank you so much for being on the show. And again, we want our viewers to contact David right here with his email and especially that website. Let's help our industry get back to where it needs to be and also moving forward at the same time. So thank you, David. We really appreciated your time here with us today.
My pleasure. And as I said early on, thanks for what you do with providing good knowledge and education to people in the industry. It really is well done. And
thank you.
It's appreciated by many, including
thank you.
me.
And of course, it wouldn't be done without the staff, that's for sure. And people like yourself to come on the show and share your wisdom. So this has been a great episode, and it really definitely makes a difference in the hospitality profession. So thank you to you, the board, and the entire Meetings Industry Fund. Thank you for joining us, David.
Welcome, and I'll see you at dinner at the Geiger House someday.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Wonderful, wonderful conversation with David Geiger with the Meetings Industry Fund, a very important initiative in our industry. And we hope, again, each and every one of you reach out, donate, or help and assist somebody that might need a grant today and in the future as well. It's just great to know that our hospitality industry has a family that cares about each and every one of us with the Meetings Industry Fund. So thank you all so much for joining us. We really enjoyed this episode. And if you want to see it again, by all means, take a look at our Hospitality Today Live Facebook page, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and share it. Share it with your company, organization, or friends within the industry as well. And we want to thank our sponsor, Versator, for helping us with this episode as well. And if you have any questions on this episode, or any questions about previous episodes, or have any comments or suggestions, please contact us at hello@hospitalitytodaylive.com. So until next week, definitely have a great week, and we hope to see you again. Thank you all.